we are the members from the new federal state of China, and we're sponsored by the Rule of Law Foundation in New York. So this tent was built in around early March, and it has received over 10,000 refugees. And as I toured you around, this is the very well equipped. Thanks to the donors of the Rule of Law Foundation, these are the very courageous Chinese people who are seeking freedom and justice because they didn't have it back in communist China. And most of our volunteers were born, very unfortunately, in communist China. We were lucky to have fled communist China and to have freedom outside of China, but we have never forgotten about people still struggling with communism. So this is why we have our mission here.
Brilliant mission. And obviously a lot of similarities with suppression and those sort of things. And standing for freedom is what we all do here, I guess. Standing with Ukraine and standing for freedom, and
Yeah. So we're standing not only for the Ukrainian people's freedom, but also for the 1.4 billion Chinese people's freedom. And because the Chinese government is Putin's friend, and they don't represent the Chinese people, just like Putin doesn't represent the Russian people. I've seen some Russian volunteers who help with the Ukrainian refugees. So this is about the humanity.
Yeah, it is, and obviously, from my perspective, I don't hear much about what actually goes on inside China because much of it doesn't actually get to us, so it's difficult for us to sort of relate. But as we hear and we create friendships here and we all sort of stand together, we get to learn these things, and that's what's brilliant about coming together and all working together as one big family, brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Thank you. And actually, China is not too far away from you because of the COVID-19 is actually a virus manufactured in the bioweapon lab in communist China and deliberately distributed all over the world by the Chinese Communist Party as an unrestricted warfare against the whole world. And also all the made in China cheap product is based on the slave labor of the Uyghurs and the Chinese people in the concentration camps. So the evil nature of the Chinese Communist Party has permeated the entire world, including the Western society. For example, the made in China clothing. And also you have to wear a mask because of the COVID. It's called the Chinese Communist Party virus. So it is actually touching everybody's life. So taking down the Chinese Communist Party is the only way to save humanity because it has affected everybody's health, safety, freedom, and democracy.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to know how to do it, but it's obviously from my perspective is a tricky thing because I don't know much about it, and I would love to know more about it, and obviously you're spreading the word around here, and that's a good thing, freedom of information.
Yeah. And the reason that you haven't heard enough or even haven't heard at all about us and about the evil nature of the Chinese Communist Party is because of the mainstream media in today's world has been pretty much controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, including very well-known media outlet like BBC in UK, Voice of America in the US, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Mother Jones, MSNBC, you name it. Many of the leading Western mainstream media have been influenced or manipulated by the Chinese Communist Party, so they don't report the truth, and in fact they're distorting the facts. So that's why a lot of people haven't heard about us, and this is the reason why we have to make our own voice heard by spreading the truth via our own platform, including like G News and Getter, which is a social media platform that doesn't censor people like the Twitter does. And can you imagine like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and Google has been censoring our voice?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, I can't speak to that because I don't know. If you showed me the evidence, then I would be happy to look at it. But obviously I don't know because I'm not on Twitter or anything like that. I don't really do social media. We do fundraising and stuff like that locally and look after local people, and that's what we do.
So now you heard something you didn't know, and feel free to explore on your own. And so definitely, the more you know, the more well informed you will be. So and very nice meeting you and hear about your work and your organization.
One thing I guess I could say is that a lot of all this is the mechanics of the world, and it's how everything is put together over many years. And because those mechanics are put in place in the way they are, it's a difficult thing to actually get out of that, rhythm, and that's what has to be disrupted. And you can see with oil supplies from Russia, gas supplies from Russia, our reliance on cheap clothing, as you were saying, from Russia, from China, and all these things. It's all what we're used to. So it takes us to change things before the world will change. But
brilliant. And so the Chinese Communist Party has been well integrated in the old world system, the mechanism that it's already being part of people's life, and sometimes you don't realize it. And so it takes a disruptor like the Chinese whistleblower movement to disrupt it, to wake people up. It's like the red pills, waking people up. And so this is what the leader and founder of the Chinese whistleblower movement, Mr. Mao Guo, has been doing. He started the voicing out and started the whistleblowing, and then it started this movement. And because of the snowballing effect, it becomes bigger and bigger. And now we have hundreds of millions of Chinese people and from around the world, vowing to take down the Chinese Communist Party. And now you get a chance to meet me and to meet my friend and all of it here in Medica. Now this is the first time you're here, but I'm sure this is not the last time you will hear from us.
I'm going to get the best coffee in town. Brilliant.
Thank you so much.